Okay, I put that in there. I'm going to show you once it gets boiled. I'm going to put these bow ties in there, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to take some of that flour and stick in that bowl. I'm going to turn that on. Right now, you want to turn it on high. That's not enough. I don't want to use the other can of that. Take it. Get another cup. I put a cup of water in there. Put a cup of water in. That's just like a half a bowl. Alright. So, okay, I turned that up on high. At this point, I'm going to put the elbows away. Off to the side. I don't have much in here, but I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil, which is not much. I just put the rest of that in. A lot of people just put salt in, or just oil. I put a little bit of salt in there, which you'll probably need for later. But that is pink Himalayan salt. The onions will help too. I'm not putting the potatoes in right yet. I'm gonna leave it boiled and I'll put the potatoes in right along with the macaroni. But while I'm doing this, I'm gonna open up the flour, which I got just a small bag. You don't need a big bag for this. Besides, every time I have flour in my place, I don't know why I have to throw it out even before I get to use it the second time. There's always something, even though my place is clean, it always has something attracting some things to it. You want to put the flour in here. Put about maybe a cup and a half in a bowl. Alright, see, I'm gonna, now, I don't need any more flour. The flour is good enough. I'm gonna put a little bit of this in here, a little bit of that chicken broth, and then I'm gonna I'm gonna spice it up a little bit. Spice up the flour a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit of celery here, celery seeds. Like a little bit of pepper. That's good enough. It's gonna be a little black. Some garlic powder. But I would put onion powder if I had it. Another dash of salt, because flour don't have any flavor to it. But this ain't gonna. And I'm also gonna put some parsley in there. Don't matter. Don't have to measure parsley. Don't have too much flavor to it, just enough to give it a punch. And I'm going. I only have a little bit of chives here, so I need to get some more of that. I'm just gonna put the rest of that in there. Dump the rest of it in that. You can also put other stuff in if you want to. Some people might put chili powder, a cumin, or if you wanted to make it like a little spicy potpie, you can put some red pepper in it, or cayenne. But it's up to you. I'm just not going to make it too spicy. The water's about ready to start boiling over here. I'm about ready to put the bow ties, which looks like bow ties, in there. what I'm going to be using the bow ties for. You'll see in a little bit. It's boiling. You don't have to put the whole amount in if you don't want to make too much. If you want to put the whole amount in, you can. That's a pound, a box a pound. Grab a spoon. Stir it around a little bit. And since I'm just gonna put the whole thing in, whole amount, and leave it boil. Now at this time, once it was boiling, you want to stir it up a little bit. You want to put the potatoes in too. These potatoes are less chunky than the other ones. You don't want to put the corn and the green beans in yet because they'll cook on its own. Because the green beans are out of the can. They're not hard. If it was the hard ones, so the legumes, yeah, it'll. But right now you want to stir that up so you can get the potatoes and the hard stuff mixed in with the noodles. And then you want to wait. Almost lost the whole thing. You want to wait till that boils a little bit. You give it about a minute, and then you want to shut it off. And It's boiling. Okay. Oh, no, I don't want that on there. I'm gonna turn it down now, down to 1, because that's how low that goes. And just leave that simmer for about 7 minutes. While it's simmering, I was trying to find a lid to it. I don't know what happened. Oh, what happened to it? Put maybe a pan on, like a pizza pan, like I just did, because it'll leave some air going through. But leave it go for about 7 minutes. And then I'll drain. While it's simmering, get stuff out of your way, and mix this up. You make it look like a small roux, but it's not going to be a roux. It'll be sort of like one. Right now, it's just gonna get sticky. I'm gonna put the rest of a little bit more of the chicken broth in there. If you just want to mix it up a little bit more. The reason why I'm gonna put the bow ties in this, but I'm also gonna use all the flour that's in here. I'm not gonna get rid of all the juice. Alright, shouldn't take long for them bow ties to get done. Now you need to get that off of there without burning your hand. Alright. Nah. They're still not done yet. I'm gonna put a little bit more put the rest of the, I guess you put some more of that chicken broth in there. It's not done. It didn't go where I wanted, so I turned it back up on high. And I know it's gonna not get like I want it to because I didn't leave it boil long enough. Well, I'll start to steam back up again. Stir the pot. And I'm just going to leave it for 5 minutes at least. Leave it start steam back up. You can see they're not done. You can see the glimmer and the hardness of it. Stir at least once, maybe twice before. It should be almost done. You don't want to get it too soft. So I'm gonna wait about one more minute. I took it off the burner. You can see there's still a little glistening. You want to dump this in a strainer, but make sure you catch the water. Get as much out of there as possible. Get the bow ties. You don't have to get them all out, but try to get them. Yeah, they're tender but firm. It's like, yeah, you don't have to get the onions and all that out. But what I want you to do with the one is put it in a separate bowl. In a separate bowl. Take the other. Don't need the strainer anymore. Take the other and stick it back in the pan. The water there, back in the pan. You'll need that. You'll need that a little bit here. See, I've had the rule now. Since that's in the pan, now you want to put the literally diced up green beans. And the corn so it can cook. Now let's get the elbows over. I put this on low, so put that on low. So what you want to do is take some of this and try to get the elbows covered. You know how you're going to get that elbows covered after you put them in? Put a little bit of flour on that. In fact, you really want to get the flour on everything. Put a little bit of flour in your pot too, a little bit. Alright. You want. What you're going to do is this. What I'm going to do with this is put all this right here. Well, you probably want to put the onions, the rest of the onions you have. You want to put in there. That's a whole onion, whole medium onion, white onion one. And now this right here, you can see it's going to be sticky because that roux is sticky. I'll get some more of that in there. You want to, in fact, you want to probably try to get that all dumped in on top of this. You want that flour. I'm having problems. Make it in a big clump like that on top of the pasta. I have that on low. I didn't stir it, which I should, but I'm not going to do it at this time. I'm going to stir this, try to get it all mixed in. And it'll be like a dumpling like texture. But I didn't put the meat in yet, but I'm going to. I'm going to show you what type of meat I'm going to put in there. You want to make sure you get all the flour, or as much flour and all that mixed in. Try to anyhow. Try to get it all mixed in. And then, I know other people would think, oh, make it into squares and stuff like that, but I don't have a rolling pin. This is just going to be, it's a scrap kind of Popeye. I know a lot of people would put ham instead of chicken broth, but also different kinds of meat like chicken. Alright, just getting there where the texture is where you want it. Okay, now what you do with this is just dump it back into the pan. Dump it back into the pan and get as much out of that bowl as possible. It's back in the pan. Now you want to mix everything together. Try to mix everything together. And if you need to, put more flour in. Or put more water in it. Make sure it's warm water, not cold. Warm or slightly hot. I mean, not lukewarm. Just all right. Now you can see the Popeyes forming, and for it to start cooking, I'm gonna have to turn it up a little bit. I'm gonna have to put a tad bit more water in this. I'm just gonna put a hole in the middle, because that's where the hot part of the pan will be. I'm just gonna put another bowl full like I did, a half a bowl. Right in the middle. I don't think that came out right. Put about 3/4. Alright. I know I could be staring it with that, but the fork is better right now. But you really want a plastic fork or a rubber fork. But since this pan's already been beat up, I'm not really worrying much about a scratch or two. But everybody should worry about that situation though. Alright, now I'm gonna turn it up part way. I'm not gonna turn it up the whole way. I'm just gonna leave it cook for about 5 minutes. Then I'm gonna put in the meat I'm gonna be using. You can put different flavors and stuff in. I mean, you can put different spices, as I said. But this might be a little spicy. But this is what I'm using. Cubed heart salami. But I didn't feel like cutting it up, so I went and bought some. I'm just going to put it right in there. And since it doesn't have any texture on it, you want to you can put a little bit more flour over top of the meat, just like it's just a glaze over top. Don't have to be much over top. Just enough to make sure. Now I'm going to use the big spoon, since all the stuff that I I wanted in there is in there. And I'm gonna mix all that in. Alright, now I'm just gonna the reason why I don't use corn juice, the juice out of the corn, the juice overpowers it. It has a lot more salt in that. So, and also don't use the green. I'm using green beans instead of peas because I'm not into peas much. So I'm gonna put some of this stuff in the sink so I can wash them. Since I'm the only one living here and I don't have a dishwasher. Which I live here, and the reason why I don't have a dishwasher is because of I have to pay extra to have a dishwasher put in. Alright, well, I'm gonna leave it cook for a little bit. Might put a little bit more flour in there, but because it's usually some Popeye is supposed to be drier than this. Some people can coat if you had. You can make this into a pie cover if you had homemade pie, or you can make your own pie cover with the flour, the excess flour, if you wanted to. Make it into a big pot pie. That's the reason why it's called a pot pie. But mine's a scrap pot pie. Pot pie usually has some of them has a lot more flour in, and some of them just puts a dough, as I said, dough on top. Some of them takes it and put the dough on the bottom and put it in a big pan and put the rest of the stuff in and put it in the oven. And the stuff I have is not good to throw in the oven, so I could also put it in a cake pan and put it in the oven, but I'm just going to leave it like that and leave it boil a little bit. And next thing I'll do is, once it gets done cooking, I'll start part 3 of this, because I know I made a mistake at the beginning of this. But alright, I'll be right back. Part 3 be soon, once this gets done.